that our audio isn't coming. Yeah, immediately. Maybe?
Hello. Welcome back to Reef Rushdown 13. Thank you for being patient with us. This is our choral comeback. My name is Skefanillians, and I am here with the wonderfully patient Yeson. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah. I mean,
Cool.
I'm not going to correct people on how to pronounce a made-up word, so yeah.
Yo!
Anyway, we've probably kept our players waiting a bit. Are we ready to get started with our round 3 matches here?
So it would seem. This is Elegant Emerald versus the typically Australian Vegemite. I've never had Vegemite. You're Australian, aren't you? Have you ever had it?
I mean, a lot of people really like, mixing it with some margarine, having it on toast. You get a nice, little bit of flavor to it. Personally, I'm not a fan, and that makes me not very Australian.
Nah.
That's okay.
We don't enforce stereotypes here. That being said, both of these teams are 0-2 so far. We are starting off right in round 3, so we have some results in already for tonight. So here they are trying to take their first dub of the tournament. One of these teams is winning. One of these teams is continuing their losing streak, and the other one is starting something new. So
Excellent.
we'll see
I'm
who
excited
that
for both of them.
is. Me too, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it's always nice to be able to get that kind of gameplay experience, especially because from my understanding, one of these teams is quite new as well to competitive. So this is a good chance for them to find their footing, really cement themselves as a team. So yeah, it's going to be a nice little friendly war that we've got going on for our round 3 match.
War, that's a strong word, homie.
Friendly war. We have turf war all the time. It's just a friendly war. Looking at the maps and modes we have as well, we're going to be starting on Clamblit for Inkblot Art Academy. Starting on clams is always a rough, pace setter, wouldn't you agree?
I actually think it's based.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I think it's very quickly going to reveal which is the more coordinated team. And I know this is playoff 3, but in situations where it's best of 3, that just gets it over with faster.
Right.
So I like starting off on clams. I think it gets teams communicating, it gets them feeling each other out. I think good team play, and everyone knows that good team play excels more so on clams. So starting off on clams, based. We should do it more.
And yeah, Inkblot as well. Yeah. I was gonna say maps are important for that stipulation, but for Inkblot clams, it's definitely a game where if you can get your team rolling and coordinating quickly, you can score points at a very rapid pace. So hoping to see something like that.
Yeah, you lock the pods on your plat, the ones on top left, force all the spawns on their half of the map. You can get below 30 in a single push, at the beginning of the game. So, it's about playing your time, and it seems we'll be getting right into it, honestly.
Excellent. Yeah, we've just received word that the teams are ready, so the countdown has begun. We're going to get to find out what weapons we're going to be seeing here, but do you have any guesses for what we'll see?
No, honestly, I'm going into this with an entirely open mind because I haven't seen any play from Oceania yet. So, I don't know what's been cooking over there. I know, have you guys had many tournaments? I don't know.
This is probably one of the first major ones, especially since the last update we had. There hasn't been anything before now, so it'll be interesting to see if we see some of the new weapons. I know they're a bit more supporty, a bit less damagey, so it's unlikely, but...
Give me C Junior. Yeah!
C Junior for clams, I can 100% expect that. It's such a good weapon.
Yeah, it is. It's based. I love C Junior. It's good on Inkblot in particular.
Yeah, totally. Getting to place those wave breakers on all those different elevations is going to be quite powerful for keeping that basket protected. Excellent. I'm just receiving word. I believe the countdown is about 30 seconds away.
Uh-oh, here we go. I'm
Getting
excited.
close. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'd love to see if anyone in chat is looking out for either of these teams. I know I saw an elegant sweep in chat. We love to see people out here supporting our teams, especially AU teams. For me personally, at least, I love seeing the support for the AU teams because we don't get to play as many tournaments. And I'm keen.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Reef Rushdown coming back after all this time. It really is needed because we can't just abandon a quarter of our scene, you know, or like a portion of them. Like,
Yeah, we don't want to be left behind. We want to keep
No!
nice and tight.
that's what's up.
All right. Well, we have our players in and ready to go.
Ooh.
Explosher, interesting. Not too surprising to see a T-Tech splatter shot. I know that's been getting a lot of love. And also a bow coming out here as well. That's quite surprising.
So I believe that's Vegemite in the blue. I really like the fact that they have that glue gun and that bow, and that's going to serve a dual purpose of, hey, we're trying to push into their plat, I want to put a wall in so I can get my team in. Conversely, with the bow, with the Toxic Mist, that's going to say, hey, they're about to push us, I want to put this here. So a nice niche for those subs.
Yeah, well, we do have Elegant Emerald with the early map control here. We can see they're pressuring on 3 different points. They have lost 2 players, so this will probably cancel their momentum, but if they can pull back in time, they should be able to keep map control and set them up for the first good score of the game.
Yeah, and they do have that plan ready to go, but it's on the wrong side of the map, so really it's still Vegemite that has control of the vast majority of the map. That being said, they are going to be able to push in, but they lose a significant portion of those clams. 7 clams gone just because they were all in the hands of the brush. So realistically, it's still Elegant Emerald holding on to the advantage here as they try and push back on it.
Yeah, actually, you're 100% right in terms of objective. They definitely have the advantage. And you can see we have Canary just hanging back here, landing pot shots on the bow, trying to spook them and maybe get a poke splat so they can initiate with their team. And Explosher's basically doing the same. Inkling does have that fun little like neutral game that you play between the back lines. And it's nice to see it in full force here.
It is. It's honestly, there's a lot of pain on the ground and not a lot happening. Both of these teams are still like getting a feel for each other. They're trying to know how much can I push this person, realistically, how much can I skill check this individual. And the answer seems to be that these teams are relatively even. We just lost both of those splashes, now we're 2-2. There is a clam on the side of Elegant Emerald, but that's not going to be able to get all the way to the other side of the map that quickly, especially when that VBS drops.
Yeah, interestingly though, the Explosher going down is going to allow a lot of map control here. And with them going down a second time, the bow now has a nice advanced position. We're seeing ink strikes around the basket as well. They've got an opening. I think they're going to be able to score.
Absolutely. Great shots from that bow there, pushing up to that right stack and exerting their influence on that plat. They are going to fall back for clams. It's a 3-3 situation. Will they be able to keep this it open? Yes, they will, but they go all but 3 down in the process. Make that a delayed wipe on the side of Elegant Emerald. We are going to see Vegemite take control of mid here. The advantage is very quickly flipped, but we'll see if they're able to push off of this.
Yeah, that was a very greedy rush for points. We still have 2 minutes left in the game. I don't know if that was the wisest decision, but only time is going to tell on that one. We do have Crab Tank coming out in mid as well, going to be applying a lot of pressure onto the opponent plat and maybe open up a scoring opportunity. They've got a lot of clams, but no power yet.
Yeah, but they do have that pity clam and they are exchanging clams, but the person with the most clams is furthest up by themselves. They are going to get picked. We do see 2 down on the side of Elegant Emerald, but are they going to be able to get the clams in the right hands in order to be able to score here? And the answer is no. Not forming that power clam before they pushed up onto the plat is going to be what punishes them there, as Elegant Emerald maintains a solid defense and picks them off 1 by 1.
Yeah, with 1:30 left on the clock now and most of the clams in Elegant Emerald's control, it's going to be very hard for Vegemite to push in and get a decent enough score here. They're probably going to be looking to build special and maybe find some early picks, but at the rate this is going, it's looking like that's going to be an uphill battle.
Yeah, and given that Elegant Emerald has that crab, they are going to be able to put pressure on the plat here, and get that clam up onto that plat with that Booyah Bomb coming out. This is well situated for them to be able to continue to push this. The Expo has no choice but to fall back, but there's a player on bats. It's a player behind them. They are seen and called out by that Expo, which is huge for Vegemite, because if you get a player behind there, they're most likely setting up a jump, and they are going to get this pick. There's still the Glugas up here. Can the Glugas rush down that Expo? And yes, they do. They get that pick. So now we see Elegant Emerald in control of that plat. The brush gets the pick. That's huge for EE, though, given that it is 30 seconds left in the game, and Vegemite does not have a clam to score with.
Absolutely, an excellent distraction play. They managed to get some picks out of it as well. Just anything they can do to drain special from the opponent and buy time. That being said, a decent number of players going down on EE now, and a push is forming. We've got a Power Clam ready to go in. They're going to take the fastest route in with a Crab Tank to boot. It's going to hit overtime. Can they do it?
No, actually, the crab has the clam, so they are losing time. They do break that basket. They have the clams to pull lead here. No, they don't. Oh my god, no,
they're
they
short.
don't.
They're short.
It's just the VDS, but they're going to be able to keep that basket open. Will it be enough? That's a wipeout in favor of Elegant Emerald, securing their victory on Clam Blitzing Block.
We definitely saw a spark of hope there for Vegemite. They had the clams they needed, but with the Power Clam sitting behind the Crab Tank, they couldn't initiate as early as they wanted, and Vegemite were able to, Elegant Emerald were able to very much resituate themselves and plan the defense to lock down the basket. Just an unfortunate matter of timing and placement on that one. I very easily could have gone either way.
Can we appreciate the logo?
Oh, absolutely.
That is a jar of Vegemite with the Tony Kenza logo. Yeah, that's a logo
they didn't
right
rename
there.
It.
That's a logo right there, man.
Like Kensamite just rolls off the tongue.
Vegemite. Vegemite is your opportunity to rebrand. You already have the logo. It just changed the name.
They've tried rebranding before and it did not go well.
You have the clan tag KV like that. You got it. GG.
It's kind of perfect. I don't know too much about Vegemite as a permanent team, but I really hope they stick together just so I can see this logo more, if I'm honest.
I need a message if they rebrand to Kenzamite. Like, I need to know.
Alright, well, we do have our next map in the map list coming up. We are doing play all three, so our next is going to be Splat Zones on Sturgeon Shipyard.
Did someone say Explo? I said Explo.
I can see why you said it. I understand why you said it.
Honestly, in terms of clearing the opponent's spinner, watching left drop, making sure no one jumps up on the right, and also, not to mention, the most base special of all time, Storm.
It's not on many weapons. It's not very common. You don't see it a lot.
It's on Not, Blob, and Explo. So, there's the Explo. Let's go. And they're also gonna have the wave breaker from the VDS, so that's still pretty huge. And the brush is just gonna, oh man, that's gonna be annoying.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That brush is going to be getting under the opponent's skin. We're probably going to see a lot of very quick flanks around the back through court to really make use of that. Though the bow seems to have them pinned down at the moment. The Killer Whale is definitely going to create the opening for maybe early control.
Look at those wiggles over there. They do get the first cap though, so Vegemite gonna be taking their moment to breathe, try and keep that paint down. The Expo is alone on that right side. This does make me nervous. They are going to be flanked by that shot. If that shot does not take that opportunity, yep, there they go. The 100%. Shot coming around through Fight Club, pinning the Explo, getting that cap out of the zone, and this is a lead that will very quickly fall in favor of Elegant Emerald.
Absolutely. You can see they're getting set up here. They are ink striking the key locations they need to defend. And they've got the wave breaker coming out as well. They're taking the fight to court, and it is going well.
Yeah, they are pushing up there, right? They do lose a member in the process, but at this point, all that matters right now is stalling. That VDS does have that wave breaker. How useful is that going to be in terms of pushing in? I don't know, but they lose it in the process anyway. The Crab Tank is out as a 3v3 situation in mid, with Elegant Emerald having control of that right side for now. It looks like they're going to go 2 down, and that is a cap for Vegemite. Now they just need to work their way into pit.
Amazing. I mean, that was just the work of the very based special you mentioned. We saw Inkstore rolling over and creating that opportunity for the entirety of Vegemite to go out and take some 1v2s. Worked very well in their favor.
Yeah, the power of Explo and Sturgeon Shipyard has not. Oh no!
That's an unlucky spot. Oh no, that wasn't aimed for them.
Man, that's so unfortunate. But what it is fortunate for Vegemite because they are going to take the lead here. The VDS is getting some confidence. They have that wave breaker. They're gonna pop that into pit. That's just enough stimulation in order to be able to keep the members of Elegant Emerald in that pit for longer. They're all grouped up on that left side. The bow is on top left. The other members are on the left side in pit. We know that someone, probably the bow, is flanking in on right. This is crazy. Are they going to be able to hold this? Yes, they are. And here we are 1-1 in this set.
Amazing. I mean, that was a classic example of cover fire, right? We were watching the VDS for a good portion of the end of that match, just dodging around, throwing out Wavebreaker, applying pressure to the bow, but not extending to try and take them out. Just really slowing the opponent's advance so that by the time they made it all the way to the zone, the match was already over. So very well done on Vegemite. Seems like they're much more comfortable on splat zones at the very least. So very impressive to see them pull that result out. We are going to go to our third game, which is going to be Tower Control on Wahoo.
I would say that their comp was suited extremely well to Sturgeon.
100%.
You have that Explo with that storm. That storm is based. It's based everywhere, but it's based especially on Sturgeon. And then you have that VDS, which is the wiggly pool noodle that it is, that says, yeah, I'll shoot at you. I might not kill you, but you're not gonna be able to kill me either. So very very good play there. That being said, that I don't know about the Explo on Wahoo, TC in particular.
I wouldn't trust it for this. Absolutely not. Tower control on this map. If you're not hitting exactly on the tower where you need to hit it, you are not getting the indirect damage you need, and you're not supporting your team.
And then
yeah, it's such a gamble, right? Like if it's your pocket weapon and you're sure you can hit those shots 100% of the time, go for it. But I don't know personally if I'd take that gamble.
If Lux doesn't do it, we shouldn't do it.
Exactly.
Like that being said, also the VDS, right? The Wavebreaker's alright for tower, like it's pretty good. There's nothing wrong with it. But I mean the VDS, like, is it gonna be able to consistently hit tower? And the answer is probably not.
No, absolutely not. And there are much better dually options if you are a dually player that you want to have that option available. Though, yeah, I don't know. I feel like if you're a dually player, you're probably confident enough that you could take a quick blaster as well. Just a close range blaster in the back pocket.
I would be curious about that. I would want to see some data on the number of dually players that have blaster pockets. That must be an AU thing.
Yeah, I've definitely seen it a lot in AU. I can say that for a fact, but
wild.
We'll see if it happens here.
What's going to be interesting about this match is we are 1-1 in this set, but whoever wins this match is going to be the winner of the set and is going to be taking their first set of the night. So someone is going to remain without a W, and the other team is beginning a nice little snowball, hopefully. So we'll see how this turns out. That being said, they do bring out the Explo. That's wild.
Yeah, I'm glad the Explo has been brought in because we're going to get to see how effective that truly is. Alternatively, though, we have an E-leader, which is probably going to be able to take care of that Explo if it gets caught out of position. Also, the Splattershot Nova, nice to see that in play. A very nice long-range turfing weapon that can get some pinch hits if needed.
I think that's going to synergize very, very well with that blaster. Just a little bit of chip from the Nova that it's got about the same range as that vanilla blaster, so that's going to provide some nice chip. Here we go with that first whale being popped. We did see that Elegant Emerald has cleared the first checkpoint. 2 down on the side of Vegemite means that second checkpoint is looking rather comfy, despite the fact that they're a blaster down.
Yeah, I mean, they're rolling at quite the speed here, and they are taking fights at very strange positions. I'm sorry, I don't know how the E-leader even ended up in that spot, but looks like the momentum's slowing now at the very least.
Yeah, that's a defense for Vegemite, and given how how strange TC Wahoo can be, I don't think there's necessarily a word for it, but putting up a defense there and buying themselves some time is great, but the question is, can they break back into mid? Because as long as Elegant Emerald has control of mid, this push is just going to keep going. Elegant Emerald only one up. Where is that T-Tech?
That is the delayed wipe. The T-Tech has just respawned. They have totally cleared them out,
Ooh.
which is very well done on their behalf, because if they'd let anyone just hang around, their next push would have been immediately stopped. Wahoo being a very easy map to get a good flank on if you go unnoticed by your opponent. So very well done to them. Let's see how far they can push this. They've got a Wave Breaker applying pressure onto plant, and the Ink Storm rolling out as well. They've got so much turf coverage going over the map here that I feel like they're going to be hard to unseat.
Yeah, Inkstorm, more like Base Storm. They go 3 down. No, I'm so sorry, I jinxed you. Okay, the brush is still noodling around that right side. The crab is out on tower. This is dangerous for that leader because the crab is looking. The brush is the leader going to go down. The blaster is there to help them. They do have to fall back, trying to reposition on that left side, but the tower is still in that court as that Wavebreaker does come out. I am nervous for this leader here. They are playing very, very aggressively, but it's just the explode. Go in, my friend, go.
Yeah, I'd be more worried about the Explo in that position.
Yeah.
E-leader keen to take them out. And I was going to say we were going to see a reset to neutral, but too many Vegemite members were lost. That really means they're going to have to give up mid here with 2 minutes left. That's really not a position they want to be in. Oh my goodness, the Squelchies trying their absolute best to make the most of that situation, but they're going to go down as well. And we're going to see the Blaster setting up underneath drop here. They're going to be nice and primed to get some sneaky splats. Oh, never mind. I was going to say that they're going to be ready to go. But Brush comes by. Absolutely. All right, we're going to see another attempt at checkpoint 2 then. E-leaders pull back and is going to try to pick out the Ink Brush. Ink Brush spots them and they are going to just camp on spot. They know they don't have to get too aggressive with it. A minute 30 is plenty of time in tower control.
It is, especially when the map is this large, right? Like, it takes so much time to get from one court to another. Like, in terms of just the amount of time it takes the tower to move, that is going to slow down Vegemite's re-engagement here, but they do start burning some of those specials. The VDS going down on the right side, followed very quickly by the Explo, so this is Oh! Okay.
It's 1v1.
The Brush versus the T-Tech. We'll see what happens. I think if the T-Tech lives, Elegant Emerald takes this, especially providing all these jumps.
Absolutely. I mean, T-Tech was marked, but the Brush was not in a position to take them out, so we are going to see a complete map reset here. Specials are going to be rolling out from Elegant Emerald, and with 40 seconds left now, having a checkpoint disadvantage.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see that. Oh my goodness.
Hospital flick, bro.
We're seeing Elegant Emerald taking control of the map again. The Ink Brush trading out there, not going to be enough. And with only 20 seconds, the status quo is being quite heavily enforced here. I think we're going to need to see some major plays from Vegemite here, or they are dusted.
Yeah, here we go with the crab on the tower, though. This is going to begin their push. But realistically, that crab is going to be long expired before they get anywhere near that second checkpoint. They are bumped off the tower. It is a 3v3 situation. The Wavebreaker comes out. That's going to be useful in telling the members of Vegemite where the members of Elegant Emerald are, but it's not going to be enough to kill them. That is a wipeout in favor of Elegant Emerald, taking their first set of the night.
Congratulations to him. I feel like Vegemite relying on Crab Tank on tower on Wahoo was maybe a bit of a misstep, and they've definitely paid the price there in those closing seconds. Elegant Emerald very quickly finding that weak point and exploding it.
Especially with the storm that's slowly going to shred the crab, and then you can bonk the crab off of the tower. Popping it so early is going to guarantee you a chance at overtime, but if you don't have your players in the right places, maintaining that push is going to be all the more difficult. Elegant Emerald just coming in clutch there and getting the picks that they needed, playing the way that they had to in order to safely deny that overtime push. So GG's to them. Can't wait to see what they do with the rest of the night.
100%. It was a very close scoreline throughout, and I'm very happy to see that Vegemite at least got some good points out of that. They were up to the same checkpoint as well. It could have very easily flipped, but we just saw a very good defense from Elegant Emerald, and they've earned that point.
Yeah, without any further ado, we are going to take a moment to catch our breath and drink some water, but we will be back as soon as the bracket for round 4 gets situated. Stay fresh, we'll be just a moment.
We'll be watching you, chat. Don't get up to anything, Lord.
Hello, hello everyone, and welcome back to our choral comeback. This is Reef Rushdown 13, and my name is Skepidillions, and I am here with the wonderful Yesuan. We are here for a very exciting set against what you said was one of Australian's top players versus Eirigh, which I know Shinix is one of the top EU players. I don't know why they're awake. They started this at 6 a.m. My siblings sleep.
I mean, look,
I mean,
sometimes you just feel the need to play Splatoon, and you can't do anything but that. But yeah, no, absolutely. We've got some of AU's longest running high ranked players here. So very keen to see what they're bringing out today.
we got
Link running a slush is something I would not have expected, but you love to see it. Evan on the slush mo is much more expected for a game of Rainmaker. Getting that indirect damage is going to be peak.
Yeah, honestly, what makes me really happy is seeing Shinix on the Tri-Slasher. Because I know they played a lot last weekend and ended up playing, like, more meta weapons, like Machine and, like, other shooters. So I'm really excited to see them on the Tri-Slasher. I love them on the Tri-Slasher. But we only see one number of Eirigh up. They very quickly break that left checkpoint, but are now quickly having to rotate for the defense. They do lose their junior here in the re-engagement, but just look how scrappy this is so quickly in the game.
100%. We saw everyone go down but the junior, who was just throwing bombs behind them to save themselves. But now we do have Greasy Goblins 4 in with a chance to get a push going here. They're just hiding out for the moment. Squeezer looking to get an early pick before they pick up the Rainmaker. They've gone for the commitment anyway. Can they break the checkpoint? No! They really needed that.
Yeah, unable to break that first checkpoint. The junior pops the bubble. They do get a pick on the Machine, but it is a 3v2 situation with Eirigh in the advantage. I take it back. Greasy Goblins is coming in. Wait, but Shinix gets the pick on the fish, delaying Greasy Goblins' push for at least a little longer so their teammates can come back out of spawn.
Okay, we do see the Rainmaker here just trying to find some good angles while, I mean, successfully avoiding the Booyah Bomb, but there was a Tri-Slosher in the Booyah Bomb. I hate it when that happens.
Honestly, the amount of people using Booyah Bombs as smokes lately, I would swear that we're playing Valorant instead of Splatoon. What is this?
100%. Well, we've got two specials ready to go on Eirigh now, and a two-player advantage as well. Rainmaker Reset's going to set them up nice and cleanly, with only one player left to defend here. I feel like this is going to be a good push.
And nowhere to back to because the Rainmaker knows exactly where they are. That fish is ready to swim. They do have that back ready to go from that charge, and that back is going to come out. That's going to shield the fish so that way they can push in, but look at Shinix just sharking over in the corners. It looks like they're waiting for an opportunity, but that opportunity may have passed because someone's going in for that fish. The fish doesn't have that much longer in order to be able to push in. There's only two up on the members of Eirigh. This looks like a doomed push.
Absolutely. We love to see the new Custom Junior because it has those torpedoes just mercilessly marking the sloshing machine as they tried to shark underneath. There was no opportunity for them to get progress on that push. Now we have a reset with three players up on either side. Rainmaker just landing a few errant shots to try and spook from the side alley. I mean, it's not really going to go anywhere, this push. I think we're going to see a reset before we see any actual score increases.
I swear my favorite thing about commentating Australian tournaments is the things and the verbs that you choose. It's errant. That's not a word I've heard in a while. That being said, it does look like Eirigh is trying to push that left side, but goes 3 down. It's just the machine that is a wipeout in favor of Greasy Goblins. They are going to be swimming with that fish. They're going to say, go back to bed. It's too early for you gamers. Tell us when you're awake.
I will say Greasy Goblins were definitely lacking in turf control, so that wipeout will hopefully buy them some space to maneuver now that they have Rainmaker in their control. They're getting the picks they need to make this progress, but they do already have leads, so there is no rush for them, and they rush anyway, and they suffer as a result. Tisk,
yeah, but
tisk,
they're gonna get the repop here. Look at the... Oh, you're beautiful!
Oh my goodness, those squid rolls. Chef's kiss. I love seeing that kind of movement from the Rainmaker. bouncing their way up Hagglefish in a way that no other map allows. That has definitely given them a decent score extension with 45 seconds left on the clock. It is going to be a tough spot for Eirigh to open this one up.
That was, I'm gonna see that forever. Uh, beautiful squid roll movement. Let's just remember that we couldn't do that 3 months ago.
100%
You know,
we could not.
if you press B while playing the video game, that was a skill issue. Now you get to pop off with that. So let's take a moment, be thankful. 15 seconds left in the game. Here we go with Eirigh beginning their final gambit, but they lose the Rainmaker in the process. That's a wipeout on Greasy Goblins. This is their one opportunity. Are they going to go for the jump? Are they going to be able to make it? They do. They pull lead. They are going to take the game. Nearly getting it to
We get overtime. We get overtime.
Greasy Goblins having one chance left to go for it.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely saw all the members of Greasy Goblins dive onto Eirigh's Rainmaker to stop the push, but what they didn't realize is that if they all go down, there's enough time for another push. And because of that, they are now paying the price. They have one shot already halfway through their overtime here. This is going to be a nigh impossible push to make happen, especially with the specials ready to go on Eirigh.
Yeah, that bubble comes out, but the bubble user does go down. The fish is prepared to go right. They're going to pull the exact same thing that Eirigh did to them. They have that fish on the plat. They have 25 seconds left, and here it goes. Is this a lead slot? No! They lose the fish!
It was so close. They had the opening set up, but we saw several members of Eirigh jumping back onto battlements so that they could ensure that push did not get to the 10-point line. Oh my goodness, if Greasy Goblins had been able to stop them just a little bit sooner, that would have been an overtime win, but as it stands, Eirigh taking the first point there. What a set.
Oh my goodness. Greasy Goblins with that beautiful squid surge. We see you. That being said, Eirigh with the quick reaction, the wipe, and the go. You love to see that expediency in a top level team. It just shows you how snappy, how important it is to very quickly switch mindsets and begin pushing. You just absolutely love to see it. And take a moment to admire the fact that Greasy Goblins managed to get that Rainmaker all the way down to the other side of the map. That's crazy.
It was incredible. I'm just so excited to see our next set here now that we've seen that in play. We are going to be moving through to Clamblitz on Brimewater Springs.
Ooh.
Now, I haven't played Clamblitz on Brimewater Springs.
It's good.
Okay.
Honestly, I think it's one of the best clams maps in the game right now.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah, it is. It's very unique in terms of the entrances that you have into mid. The entire map is an entrance into mid, and that makes me happy. That makes me want to run it down. And
I would say as well,
sure
in a lot of modes, Brimewater tends to be pretty lockout heavy. But for clams, you've got to be constantly circling back and picking up new clams, because those are only going to be spawning in mid. So our players should have a decent enough chance to move through goal and shut down pushes if they're quick enough.
I genuinely think that the difference between clams and zones, brine water, and rainmaker and tower control is the fact that you have to clear elbow. With tower control and rainmaker, that first checkpoint is on that elbow. So once that elbow is cleared, all you have to do is look forward up into street. That gives the attacking team some very focused direction that leads to some pretty significant snowballs, and the defending team has very little room to wiggle. But with clams is at the bottom of that ramp in elbow, so the defending team still has plenty of room to work with. Yes, the attacking team is going to want to push up further, but they're still going to have to fall back into mid in order to be able to manage that sweet, sweet clam economy. So we'll see how those teams choose to do that here. Very quickly, we do see some specials burning on the side of Eirigh, getting 2 down in their opening salvo.
Absolutely. Now, one map feature I will point out as well that I've just noticed, there is an ink rail available on this map as well that goes pretty much directly to basket. It is quite exposed once you get above the plat position, but that could be a very prevalent scoring opportunity for teams if they're just looking to get a single power clam in. who might be making use of that.
What that rail actually enables a team to do is to fork into this elbow. They push that main part through that choke, but they send one person around left in order to clear any defender that may be situated on those grates. They do try and do that there, but the machine is going to clean up rather excellently, getting both of those splashes and now work their way and start pushing up. This is what makes Brinewater Clams so unique, is it does present defenders with all of those options, and we see that Squeezer is just a great pick there, unfortunately going down in defending that area with that splash wall and the killer whale.
Power Clam going in through the smoke screen of the Booyah Bomb. And plenty of clams to follow as well. It seems we've got a very good amount of control here. It's going to be very hard for Greasy Goblins to clear this out totally. They can drop down and try to get a flank on this ink vac, but until the opportunity presents itself, I think they're going to have a hard time getting back into mid.
Greasy Goblins cleaning up here, going to push the members of Eirigh completely out of there. Yeah, so that's Eirigh in the blue. So currently it's Eirigh in the lead. We can identify that because Shinnick's on that tri-slasher. But Greasy Goblins coming in and trying to get their own push going. But they're a member down. But the Zuka pops, gets a pick, but goes down in the process. That's a defense from Eirigh.
Yeah, I don't see any way of a Power Clam going in here. We do have the Slosher with 6, but I just don't think that we're going to be seeing an opportunity considering we have specials ready. No, never mind. Ink Strikes are coming out. We have a wall created and some clams are coming in. The Booyah Bomb I was expecting to land through, but it hits the basket. That is very unfortunate. That was the Booyah Bomb I was expecting to stop the push in the first place. But
yeah,
it's ended up in completely the wrong place. We're over halfway through our time now as well. Both teams have one shot at the basket, but one being a bit more lucrative than the other. We have Greasy Goblins with a slight player advantage, so they might be able to set up for their next push first.
Yeah, and look at, they're already underneath that basket. They have that power come, like, have Crab. That Crab is going to be shutting down top left. Some very cheeky shots here, providing a lot of chip up on that clap, but there's no one in front of it to benefit from that chip. They do manage to break that basket. We are in a 3v3, make that 3v2 because it's delayed on the side of Eirigh. Greasy Goblins in the advantage, but they only have one clam in order to be able to stall this. This is not looking good for them just because they don't have clams in their hands. Just the Splash has 6 clams. They are going to be going in for a Hail Mary, trying to get that dunk, and they do. A minute and a half left in this game, but Eirigh's penalty is rather minimal, and they do have that Inkjet ready to go, and in the hands of Shinnick's, you don't want them to have special.
100%. 2 power clams, 3 power clams ready to go on Eirigh. They have a very good chance of getting at least one of those to the basket. I mean, I was amazed with how we even saw Greasy Goblins keep that basket open for so long, but immediately it is taken away from them. Only 3 clams going in to end the game, and the clams are being held. Can we see the knockout here? Yes, we do.
There we go. Oh, man. That's, like, you could see why that's a good clams map.
I can absolutely see why that's a good
how back and forth that was. When teams had advantage, they were able to push. When they were at a disadvantage, they had to fall back. It's just chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Such a good clams map.
The way Greasy Goblins were able to get that single clam in was incredible. The fact that that push really should have stalled out because there was just one player left and they were 1 clam short. The fact that they were able to even make that happen just shows that Eirigh weren't expecting that kind of a play. So Greasy Goblins really greased up sliding under that basket, but unfortunately for them, they committed too heavily to that push, and 3 power clams came in very quickly afterwards.
That's scary, honestly. See, like, okay, so, like, they had 3 clams, they were on the right side of the map, and then they popped Booyah, so I'm like, oh, okay, they're gonna, like, smoke themselves in, which I've been seeing obnoxiously so on Brinewater. That is something that I have been seeing. But then I'm like, wait, they can't do that because they're marked by the power clams. You can see that through a Booyah.
I guess you can't throw a bomb at it through a Booyah is the main thing.
True! Oh, that's so big brain. Oh my god. No torpedoes. Well,
yeah, no, it's a great counter to a lot of subs, so it makes a lot of sense. It's a lot better than just a smokescreen would be.
Yeah. Dang. All right. That's thank you for that. that data that is fed my neurons.
This has been
I
Big Brain with Yeso. All right, we're going to move on to our final game of this set. We're playing Splat Zones on Eeltail Alley, a bit of a favorite in the OCE community at the very
No
least.
way.
Yeah.
That is not true. Are you serious?
Yeah, it's big Zone. Zone is real big.
Oh my god. This is why we don't run tournaments for you.
Look, okay, there might be some personal bias in here.
Okay, I'm playing.
I really like this because it is a zone that is very hard to quickly capture. It's very hard to get neutral on it as well. So you need to be focusing on what your opponent is doing before you even think about the objective, which I think is a very unique feature for a Splat Zones map. We'll see what our players are running here. No major weapon changes, though we do have the E-leader ready to line up some shots. And the much scrappier comp coming out from Greasy Goblins. They will have a turf advantage, but only just. I think it's going to be a bit back and forth here.
I love where that C Junior is playing. If I'm unfortunately graced with the zones Eeltail in the morning, that's exactly where I sit with my C Junior. That being said, this is match point. Both of these teams having gone undefeated so far in Reef Rushdown. Both of them looking to remain undefeated. Whoever, like, Eirigh's already won this.
Yes, they absolutely have. They have won this. Greasy Goblins doing this to keep their percentage up for their rounds. They're already doing a great job, though. 40 points remaining. The entire enemy team's down. They are up and in the annoying spots. How did they get up there? Who let that squeezer back there? That should not be there.
Oh my god, and I can't believe they're about to KO. Here we go, it's just that leader. Let's be realistic. There is simply no way that they could get the paint down on the zone that they need. Simply playing for picks. The slosh does go down to that Zuka, and that is a very clean 100-0 KO from Eirigh.
Just, no, I believe that was Greasy Goblins taking that. I could be wrong.
What?
No? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? I could be wrong.
Maybe?
No, I am absolutely right.
Goblins.
Greasy Goblins smashing that match. An early crab tank, very well positioned, meant they got a quick wipe at the start, and then they were able to very quickly set up in the most nasty positions you can get set up on. What an excellent game. Greasy Goblins proving they could have won all those games. They just didn't quite have the momentum they needed.
They didn't want to. They wanted to save it for. They wanted to save it for the single elimination bracket.
100%. I mean, like, that's gonna look great on their stats page.
Yeah. Throw for content, you know?
Oh, wow. All right. Well, now that we've seen Greasy Goblins at their 100% power, I hope we get to see them again in single elim. Regardless, that is going to wrap up that set. We are going to have one more round in our Swiss before we move over to the elims. We're just going to figure out who's going to be on. But in the meantime, we will probably take a very short break because we had a very quick knockout there. I imagine we're probably going to be waiting a little bit for some of our matches to pick up. So we will be back very shortly for our round 5.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Reef Rushdown 13. I'm DJM98 and I'm joined once again by Yesoan. How you going today, buddy?
Hi, I'm still here. Hello. I'm doing very well. We're just mid changeover here at IPL, and we are ready to bring you round 5 with some players that, if you're in the Oceanic scene, you will definitely recognize.
Yeah, I definitely recognize Yasuna used to be on my team, so this is where they went. I see.
Yeah.
I see. I'm also recognizing Natsu and Cozy, very big and very common here. We see often in OCA as well. I'm trying to pick out
Lumi and MGJ as well. Long-time Splatoon 2 players. Excited to see them finding a spot in Splat 3. And we also, I didn't even get time to talk about the other team. That's okay. We got to get started. Instant Ink representing on the Alpha team here. Let's see what we have. Okay. Looking at some Tetras, nice to see. You don't always have those on the board. And a Splattershot Pro as well. We are playing a very civilized game on Museum Delfonsino here.
It's very interesting to see that Lumi's team does not have much of any of a backline. The most backline range they've got is a Splattershot Pro, which isn't gonna be, you know, it's not a splatter scope by any means. We're instantly seeing the crab come out from Instant Ink is gonna do a little bit of damage straight onto the floor, but it gets taken out by Cozy Splat. But Cozy gets taken out as well. It is chaos happening on the field as Instant Ink does clear through that first checkpoint and is heading straight to the second one. That infect is as well going to be absolutely critical when they head into that next checkpoint. That also those triple ink strike is going to push away the members from Lumi's, allowing Instant Ink to clear yet another checkpoint. And two plays. Oh, and there comes the ink vac.
Amazing plays. Early on, we're just seeing some very strong aggression and a very good lead coming out here as well. You mentioned a lack of a backline, but we do have a Crab Tank. And Crab Tank can substitute as your backline in an emergency situation. We're going to see a counter push now and a nice steady stream of splats rolling in here. Looking like we're going to see a good amount of points on the board.
Definitely, and now we're really seeing that Lumi is going to be making their counter push here. They do have that Booyah Bomb at the rate, which is going to push away any members as they head to that second checkpoint. Triple Ink Strength is going to target that tower, but they managing to avoid of two players down on the side of Instant Ink is absolutely critical, and another member goes down, and that is a lead switch, but with three members down, a wipeout. I am sorry on the side of Lumi's Ethernet adapter. That's going to allow Instant Ink to now regain a lot of turf and get some of that specials, as they do have the crab coming up, as well as that triple ink strike is ready to fire from Puma at a moment's notice.
I will say I do love seeing the use of defensive specials on tower control. People running Ink Strike, people running Killer Whale. They know that there's going to be a bubbler on tower. They know there's going to be a crab tank on tower, and they have the tools to deal with that. So very impressive to see the special control in play there for Instant Ink.
Definitely. And all the splat onto plus as well. All the double splat as well. That's going to stop that push right in its place, as we're now going to see Lumi's Ethernet adapter. They're heading and getting the tower back to mid. They do have possession of the lead, sitting at 19-34, which is a good position for them to be. It's still 2 minutes on the clock. There's still opportunities for any team to make a real push in this game and clear through that final checkpoint. They've both only got one checkpoint remaining. Booyah Bomb at the ready from this machine, or from Natsu. But there we go. There's the triple ink strike. Once targeting the tower, which is going to push anyone away from that tower. And now they're just looking forward, looking to get any offensive movement going. But Lumi spotting them in their tracks and just stopping them right then and there, as well, getting that spot onto plus, but getting taken out by the crab.
Yeah, Crab's going to be able to provide a lot of pressure on this map because Museum Delfonso is fairly flat. Like, there's a big old drop in the middle, but the rest of the map is very flat, so the Crab has a good visual from this platform into a lot of the areas that the enemy is going to be.
Yeah, and we're now seeing the crab is ready once again and gets popped out, targeting all the members on the right side there, getting rid of the splatter scope. That is critical. 3 players down. They're heading for the final checkpoint. That triple ink strike is going to delay them, but it's not going to delay them much. Heading 10 points remaining. They're just firing all cylinders remaining, and that is game 1 going to Lumi's Ethernet adapter.
It's a good team name.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty early start for Instant Ink. They were very instant, and as Chad has pointed out, their Tetras were very forward, and they were able to get some good splats early on, but we just saw a lot of the play from Lumi. They were putting their specials out in the right place. They were catching the opponent off guard, and they were really just making the most of their pushes. So the fact that they were able to get a KO in that amount of time really just shows that they knew what their opponent was going to do. They were prepared for it.
Definitely. They really knew what they were going into. And wait, which team had no backline? Was it Lumi or was it Instant Ink?
I believe it was Lumi that had the no backline, but I could be wrong on that. I'm pretty sure that was the case. They were able to push their momentum much faster because of that, though. They didn't have to wait for a member to catch up from behind. Not saying that Instant Ink's charger wasn't doing the numbers, because they were. But very clearly, backline not super required when you have Crab Tank on your side. Shoutouts to Forward in chat as well. We do live in a society, and that society includes you playing Tetris, so thank you for being here. So our next match is going to be a Rainmaker on Mahi Mahi. That'll be an interesting one. Rainmaker on Mahi Mahi is a game that maybe getting the first checkpoint break isn't the most advantageous position. Do you want to talk us a bit through about the specifics of Mahi Rainmaker?
Mahi Rainmaker, it's interesting. I guess all modes on Mahi is very interesting because it's the only map that really changes once you get that progression going. I believe it's as soon as you dunk that first checkpoint, then the entire map changes. It's not a huge change, but it is definitely a change that favors a bit more of a defensive movement, because you don't have that little bit of an upper ledge. It's now just going to complete flat. So it allows for a bit more defensive. So once you clear that first checkpoint, it actually makes it a bit easier to defend and stop people from clearing that first checkpoint, which is definitely interesting because it really favors anyone who gets through that first checkpoint early. So that is the absolute critical and absolute choking point of this map mode combination as we head into game 2, Mahi Mahi Tower Control. Lumi's Ethernet adapter in orange and Instant Ink in blue.
All right, looking at our weapon lineups here, we have Squelchies coming out from Instant Ink. You like to see it. Wavebreaker going to be quite effective on this map because there is not a lot of room to maneuver. Other than that, no major changes here. We do have Instant Ink again going for the very early game push. They clearly want to be in charge of this match from the get-go. They've given it a shot, but unfortunately taken out just before the checkpoint. And that first checkpoint really is critical to securing a victory.
I saw Forward was holding onto that Rainmaker, and I saw them in chat. I'm like, maybe they're listening to what I'm saying, because that would be nice. Or maybe they just already know, because it's the absolute critical thing you need to know about this map. We're seeing that crab from Instant Ink is going to come out, but is not going to make too much damage onto the field, as everyone is behind this block being very safe about it. But the splash does go down, as well as the Julies. That's 2 players down on the side of, make that 3 on the side of Instant Ink as, but the Splat Charger absolutely stopping the Rainmaker in his pedestal, and the Ink Vac is going to allow them a bit of extra time, getting that Splat onto Natsu as well. What a superb defense coming out from Instant Ink there.
Yeah, I love seeing the ability to actually eat the Rainmaker shield explosion and survive that, and then get a pick afterwards. That's so critical. They 100% soloed the defense of that checkpoint.
That is the app. Such a great play. But now 3 members go down again on the side of Instinct. That is the thing about Mahi Mahi Resort. It is so easy to get three players down, 4 players down, but those are the critical points you need to make a checkpoint, because you need to get those players down to clear the checkpoint, and that checkpoint has been cleared by Lumi's Ethernet adapter, changing the entire stage. But now Instant Ink is back onto the offensive, because that can change so quickly, heading straight to the checkpoint, but they're just getting pushed away by bombs, getting pushed away by players, and now that checkpoint is cleared from both teams. But because Lumi's Ethernet adapter did clear that first, they do have that slight advantage in terms of the points in the lead.
Absolutely. Now you'll notice the map has become a lot wider here because we have that checkpoint clear. It allows players to get a bit more sharky and use a bit more of their evasion skills to really get up and flank on the opponent. We have a very aggressive push coming out from Lumi's Ethernet adapter, shut down quite early, so Instant Ink now in control. It's very easy to get a 1-point increase here. They just got to basically do what they did before again, and they will get it. It's just going to be a question of if they can make it happen. They do have the ink back there to cover a lot of the turf that's coming in, and they do just touch it. The wipeout might be a bit of a cost they're not willing to pay, but at the time being, they have secured the lead.
It's definitely a good position, but getting a play down, and that super jump's gonna get caught out as well. And there goes the wave breaker, there goes the Booyah Bomb. The specials are coming up, the lead is taken, and they're heading straight for the pedestal. 2 players down on the side of Lumi's Instant Ink. But the Rainmaker is stopped right. The Goblin with 3 players down. Rainmaker popped, and that is game 2 going to
Lumi's
Ethernet adapter. Yeah, sorry, I'm just confusing myself there. Lumi's Ethernet, yeah, taking game 2.
Yeah, it does get a little confusing in the chaos there, but we do have a very solid push up the back line. Clearly, Instant Ink, that wipe to get the 10-point lead was not the go in the end. You can never know in the heat of the moment if that's going to pay out, but with Rainmaker especially, it's just so easy to inch those points forward that it didn't quite pan out for them this time. And yeah, we saw Mahi in full effect there. No one taking the shortcut with the Rainmaker, but several flanks coming through on that short. Very hard for the players to keep on top of their plant when you've got so many players just streaming in and making it real hard to put up a solid defense.
Yeah, that's the thing about Mahi clams. Not clams, Mahi in general.
Well, it is the thing for clams as well, but
it is. It's such a small map, and so you can move any objective so quickly on the map. But also because of that expansion, once you do have that expansion, it, as you said during the game, it does allow for more sharking and also more flanking, because you can go around that, you can do that little hop, skip, and jump. It isn't as obvious as jumping over a whole puddle of water. You can be a little bit more hidden with it, which really makes it quite interesting. And I'm curious to see where we're going to be going into for game 3 of
we've got this is a play 3 on Undertow Spillway.
Oh, so very, very different from Mahi clans. Obviously, Undertow Spillway doesn't change at all throughout the entire match, but it does have the infamous hump straight down the middle of the map, which can make for some very interesting plays.
There's a wonderful dynamic of Undertow Spillway where if you're up on glass, you can shoot to the other side of the hump, but you can't see who's underneath you. And it creates this really interesting cross-map dynamic. So this map tends to put a bit of a spotlight on your backline players. Based on what we've seen, Instant Ink might have the better options here. At least it'll give them an opportunity to deal with Lumi's rapid pace gameplay.
Yeah, so that's the thing that Lumi have been going out throughout both of these matches, is getting that very quick offensive going, because that is the thing when you don't have much of a backline. We're seeing Instant Ink does come out with that Julie Squelches and the Charger, and then we're seeing from Lumi's again, the only real backline is that Splattershot Pro. So again, they're looking to go fast, they're looking to go hard, and if you can get a successful push going in clams, you can really do that quickly.
Absolutely. This is a map where it's not too hard to get a lot of clams under your belt. Everything does tend to spawn around this middle wall here, so if you have map control and your opponent is a couple players down, you're going to be able to get power clams in no time.
Definitely. And we're seeing the crab coming out from Instant Ink here is going to allow them to get that little bit of control over the middle. Both teams at the moment sitting on an even amount of clams, but they're just eyeing off that middle. Bombs going everywhere, taking it down user, but it's not going to be enough. Both teams need to get a bit more of a dominance over the mid. It's still really anyone's game. No one has made any sort of push over mid, and any team needs to do that or get the splats. But with 3 players down on the side of Instant Ink, this is now Lumi's opportunity to get that clam going. There goes the power clam, but with 2 players down, that might have been a great defense. Is that gonna be a third? No! The machine takes down Natsu with that splat, is gonna allow them to live, but they're not gonna eye up any more players. They're going to take the trade there, which is definitely better than dying alone. So they ended up getting 2 players down there, which made a little bit... They could have made a bit of a bigger push, but they did get some extra clams in. So they're not just sitting at 80, they went all the way down to 68. So a few clams there is going to make them a little bit more advantageous than just that 80. But the crab is going to push them back. And now we're seeing that Instinct does have that control of the mid. They're looking to get onto the offensive, and that the wave break is going to maybe put a little bit of a halt in their movements, and user goes down as well.
Yeah, we do have 2 loose power clams now, just sitting around for Lumi. They're not going to be able to get good use out of those. The question here is whether Instant Ink can capitalize on this push. They've got Booyah ready to go out on plat, but with the Ink vac underneath, I think this is going to be dangerous for them.
Oh, it might be, and with 3 players, and they're getting that splat at the end, but the wipeout is going to allow them to get... Wait, they're on the offensive. They're looking... Are they on the offensive? No, they're on the defensive. Yeah. They're on defensive.
Yeah, okay. They're going to be able to push out now. They've got 2 power clams. Getting that wipeout was pretty critical. They've got specials ready to go as well. Unfortunately, their momentum is stalling, and if you take a look out here, it's not too hard to see why. The Chargers just trying to find openings. They're going to get 2 power clams in, but we're just seeing splat after splat coming out from Lumi to really slow down the pace of this game.
There's the lead. Are they going to get the pity clam in? The pity clam, it gets the jump, but does not go in. The bomb splat as well coming out from Puma there is now going to allow the Lumi's Ethernet adapter to get that defensive moving going once again. The score only 4 points different. That's 2 clams separate, and now Lumi's Ethernet adapter is looking to make a great offensive. They have a total of 25 clams ready, but they don't have control of mid. They have 3 specials as well, so that's going to look them and make them quite advantageous when they're looking to make a push. And here we go, they're coming up 7 clams as well from this player. They have so many, 28 clams on the field, but the crab knows that. They know that. They're eyeing off their defensive movements. They're putting up an impregnable defense, and it's working out. They're not being able to push. Someone comes out, gets 1 splat, but they do get taken out by Lumi's pro there.
Yeah, interestingly enough, I think Lumi were just trying to wait out the crab there. They have enough points that they only need 1 power clam in to take lead. So they're not worried about getting all of these clams in, which means they're probably going to play it safe. They only need to get 1 player under the basket. If their opponent overextends, they can take advantage. So they're definitely playing this quite smart here.
They definitely are. And one thing to keep in note though, if Instant Ink... So if Lumi's Ethernet adapter do get 1 power clam in, that will set the score to a tie. So they only need to get 1 more power clam in, and that will be their lead. And now we're seeing Lumi's Ethernet adapter, they're pushing up. There goes the power clam in, and there's the lead switch. And getting a few extra plans in to seal the deal forward. Seeing that play, they take them down. 2 players remaining on the side of Lumi's Ethernet adapter, and now Instant Ink are just eyeing off any player they can. They need to get clams going. They need to get a few points in. They've got to get a power clam, as well as possibly 4 extra clams in it, which is quite a significant amount to get going. You can't just have 1 player go slam and dunk. They do have the pity clam at the ready, which is going to allow them to go into overtime. But the wave breaker as well is going to displace and let them give a bit of damage onto those players as we're heading straight into overtime.
Absolutely. We've only got half the overtime left as well. You really do not have long to get the dunk in. We have an Instant Ink member squid rolling to save themselves, get them across the line, but there is no ink for them to land in, and they are dusted. There's going to be Lumi with an 8-point victory.
Such a close game. That was so close. I was seeing that point, like, there were four points apart at that during that point in the match, and then when they took the lead, it was only 8. It was just so close.
Absolutely. Well, you love seeing players get all up in the grill there. And it was a pretty close clams match at the end of the day. We definitely saw Lumi have pretty good control in those earlier sets, but Instant found their footing there, and there was a good chance for them to take that round. Unfortunately, they ran out of time. So it's going to be the 3-0 to Lumi's Ethernet adapter and the end of our Swiss round. So we are now going to be breaking our teams out into elimination brackets for the second half of this tournament. And from there, we will see who our freshest squids are.
Exactly. Don't go anywhere, guys. You're watching. Actually, no. Wait. Before we go. Yes, Juan. Yes, Juan. You're leaving us now, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna head off for the night. We'll have someone else substituting in, but I'm sure you will be in good hands.
I hope so too. All right. Where can the lovely people of the internet find you, Yesoan?
Aw, you don't have to promote me. I'm just at YesZone. Come say hi. Alright.
Oh, that's lovely. All right. Thanks for coming along, and we'll see the rest of you very shortly. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Reef Rushdown 13. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Reef Rushdown 13. I am DJM, and I am joined by... I'm sorry, I don't know how to say your name. Amy
It's a
Saika?
hard one to say. It's Amy Saika, yes. You
Oh,
were pretty
Amy
close,
Saika.
yeah.
Okay, closest.
Close.
Amy Saika. Alrighty.
Yes, we got our next team, KFC Gaming versus, as we do in Australia with our wacky names, Cocaine. And a pretty good lineup coming up here. We're just waiting for our players to ready up and organize the match.
It does help. It does help to start a match, you know, to select your weapon. Like, I kind of like going in to these maps and modes with, you know, a weapon in my hands. I don't like going barehanded. It's kind of just a preference. I don't know about you.
You don't like to do the you know, sub only challenge? Well, I guess you need a weapon to do that, no? Right?
You still need a weapon to do that. I guess I could get a if we go to Wahoo World, I could just ask the Salmonoids to be my weapon.
Oh yeah. Well, we love the
That'd
stingray,
be an
don't we?
OP weapon.
We'll just use our stingers.
About it, I would try doing Rainmaker on Big Run. Give me that, please.
Rainmaker and Big Run. Everyone has.
Let me do that, please. Please, Nintendo.
Oops, it's all raise. And that's how we go.
All right. What's the first map mode we're going to be going to today?
The first map mode we're going to is Tower Control Scorch Gorge. Now, this is an interesting map, considering that you've got quite a lot of height difference here. That first check, you're able to jump onto their platform as well, which is a nice flanking route. You've also got your second check looking through, but having mid control is very important with tower control, being in front of the tower, pushing along with your teammates. So it'll be interesting, depending on what weapons we're going to see out here tonight, how this match goes.
Definitely. At the moment, given how the current comp meta is, backline, and particularly with like the longer range backlines such as Elite and Hydra, really can have a dominating effect, particularly for maps such as modes such as tower control, when you can really just sit on that tower and you can really support your backline while not having to move yourself, because the tower moves for you. What a magical thing it is.
Auto run through the map, indeed. But Scorchrods does have that great sniping point from underneath the cage, which does apply pressure into mid for the opposing team, especially if you get an E-Leader versus Hydra matchup. E-Leaders typically having the advantage over Hydras and Heavies. So it'll be interesting how mid is played. I think it'll definitely push the game along, for sure.
Absolutely. And you can say the same for like every map mode combination, that once you really need to get a dominating control over the midpoint before you really start making a push to whatever direction you're going. Particularly for Scorch Gorge, you really need to get a control not only of the mid, but you also need to get almost control of that right flat area as well. So you need to get you need to get a lot more control on tower control compared to some of the other tower control modes, such as Eel Tower Alley, where you can really focus a bit more towards the tower itself rather than pushing forward as much. Scorch Gorge, you really need to, because it's such a straighter route and doesn't curve around a whole lot. It's pretty much it's a very straight route. You do need to push up a bit further beyond the tower compared to some of the other map mode combinations for tower control.
Well, exactly. Scorch Gorge is one of the bigger maps in Splatoon 3 at the moment, with implementing kind of what I like to call the useless areas, your wings, which, you know, if you are defending, you can create yourself a flank point. If they're going for first check, and even on second check, jumping down from your plat on that this is where I don't know my rights and lefts on that left side, and coming up
Well, it's
behind
right
him,
or
second
left,
check.
depending on what
It
side of
could
the map
be
you are on.
depending on what you're looking at. But if you're looking at your defending side, you will be pushing from your right side, dropping off in your plat. You can create some flanking opportunities. Our game is starting here. We have Cocaine in. Ooh, this is where I stuff up. Cocaine, I think, is in purple here.
Oh,
What do
the
we have going
double
here?
crab is very interesting to see here.
It is, and we've got a strong take from mid already. Yellow already covering a majority of the map. I'm just trying to get some.
It's all good. Just take a breather. We're seeing that crab tank coming out early from Joe there is going to really allow the members of Cocaine to get a little bit of early advantage on the map, but they do lose a lot of turf control to KFC Gaming, and that Splatterscope is going to try and eye off the members of Cocaine as they're looking to try and get the splats going heavy as well on the side of KFC Gaming, which is and it's going to allow them to get a lot of tower control. But the Trizuka is ready. There's a lot of specials coming up. That just narrowly avoiding.
Well, the
I forgot
fight
what
for
was
mid
that called,
is
the wave breaker.
definitely the fight for mid is definitely on its way, but it looks like KFC is pushing in towards Cocaine's platform. We're seeing the use of the wave breaker pushing back Cocaine, but a Trizuka coming out to try and pressure that crab out.
Definitely. We're seeing L here. They're just trying to push away the members using that crab. Seeing this heavy, Juno's heavy, is going to allow a bit of defensive movement, but they do clear that second checkpoint. That is critical, as now KFC Gaming is looking to head towards the final checkpoint. Oh, that trade between the splatter shot and the heavy, allowing the members of KFC Gaming to continue and maybe continue getting that defensive movement going. But now that tower is slowly going to make its way back to mid as Cocaine do gain a bit of the control back, and KFC Gaming is now stuck back behind as the heavy jumps onto the tower.
So yeah, it looks like Cocaine is making their way towards push. They do have a majority of mid here. Purple team, KFC coming in, defending their plat. Tiger with the slusher, booyahing to try and create more space in mid again. As we're talking, mid is a very big fight here. But unfortunately, it looks like... my god, I lost my train of thought. Sorry, my bad.
It's all good. We're seeing the splash here just going around. Yoshi just not allowing any of the members to get that splat onto them. They're charging up that crab, getting ready. They do hop onto the tower, but a torpedo is going to eye them straight away, and they're going to narrowly get away from that. But they do have that crab at the ready and going to hop onto the tower. Maybe going to use the crab. There we go. That crab does come out, and with 2 players down on the side of KC Gaming, that's going to now allow them to get that push going. Oh, getting that burst point. Are they going to be able to get the splat? They do get the splat onto Polo Bread as well. Getting a lot of splash bombs to the face. But again, 2 players down on the side of KSC Gaming. It's going to really allow Cocaine to keep on getting that push going, clearing that second checkpoint as well.
They do clear the second checkpoint. They're coming back for their attack. It's a very close game at this point, and they take the lead, but KFC Gaming is desperately trying to move that tower back into mid, touching it, just moving it back, and that was a pick from the charger onto the splash. Yellow's
What a
still trying
great pick.
Definitely, indeed. Yellow still trying to keep that tower in their left side. It's good to apply pressure, not letting the tower entirely go back. Getting a pick there on the C Junior, but getting pushed out by the slosher. With 3 down from yellow team Cocaine, it looks like KFC is making their way back into mid.
Indeed, and with 45 seconds left onto the clock, this is now becoming KFC Gaming's last opportunity to make a push. But with that charger going down, it's going to be absolutely detrimental to players down on the side of KFC Gaming is now going to really allow players just going down. And he said, oh, what the Custom Junior goes down with their special 1 point away from being charged. That is a critical splat.
It's looking like KFC is using with the wave, with the crab, looking to make another push to potentially take lead in overtime. We do lose the player pushing the tower. The booyah, a save, but unfortunately not enough for KFC to take lead in overtime there.
What a good set coming out. KFC Gaming taking Cocaine taking the first game of this set. A really great showing there. And what that overtake right near the end was a really close. And really close as well. It's like a few points difference.
Just pushing that tower little by little and taking the lead. It was only 2 points away. Very close game between both teams there.
Definitely. And now as we leave Tower Control, Scorch Gourds, where are we going to next?
Well, next we are heading to pause for effect.
I don't have the map list in front of me, so I actually have zero clue of where we.
Next we are going to Undertale Spillway with Rainmaker.
Ooh, Undertow Rainmaker. Which is quite interesting about this map is that it's Undertow Rainmaker. It's the only time where we really get to use Useless in Undertow. Because you never, every other mode, Splat Zones.
Mm-hmm.
It is, like Splat Zones, Clam Blitz, and Tower Control. Tower Control, you can defend from there a little bit. But even
it's not
still,
a great advantage for defending.
No. This is like the best map mode combination you can get with Undertale, because you really get to use useless, like even Turf War. It's still useless because you just paint it and you don't think about it.
Yeah. Oh, that side's done. Well, we won't think about that for the rest of the game, hey? But yeah, with Undertale Spillway, it's quite interesting. The Rainmaker paths do take such a fork in the road on which direction you take it. For the map, especially even on your defending side, looking at that right-sided use and how quickly, if you are pushing, you can change directions to quite easily mix up your push, basically.
Yeah, you really gotta take a moment and judge which way is gonna be more effective. Like, obviously, when you're pushing, your right side checkpoint is a lot easier and a lot quicker to clear, but your left path is a lot more safer for an overall slam dunk into the basket. And now we're seeing Cocaine again coming out over there. And we have, this is KFC Gaming in yellow and Cocaine
KFC Gaming is in purple and Cocaine is in yellow.
Oh, okay.
We've fixed our colors here.
Easy. That is awesome. Makes it so much easier for me.
Yes, there we go. That's right. So we get a Rainmaker. The shield is popped by Cocaine there. Looks like we've got a crab from Cocaine looking to create space in mid. It is quite a close mid, it's split off because you have the spine in the middle, with players being able to switch between both sides.
Definitely, and a great positioning there from the E-leader there, allowing two members of the gaming to jump in, but that Inkjet has spotted them, but does not get the splat. That is a critical miss there, but the crab does get ill there, and now they have grabbed the Rainmaker and then to clear that first checkpoint, but the player, no, it was Tet with the E-leader in front of them, taking them down. What a great defense, with even though they're only one of two members remaining. Great spot and great defense there coming from Ted, but they do get caught out by the Trizuka there, as now Cocaine is looking to make a counter push of their own. Continue their push, getting a few more points on the board, but there we go. They do get stopped by that 52 gal.
We do indeed. 52 gal defending that left-sided checkpoint there. Looks like we've got a couple of specials coming out from KFC. KFC Gal pushing in quite deep there with the aggressive Gal looking at their snipe. Rainmaker resetting there as well. Quite even on both sides, I'd say, at this point. That fight for me is just continuing.
It really is. We're seeing the E-leader here. They're just eyeing off all the members, looking to get a pick onto that crab. But now the Rainmaker does get picked up once again by Cocaine, and this time they're looking to head to the left side. But again, getting caught out by the E-leader, and now with 3 players down. Oh, they actually cleared it. I didn't think they were going to get that with 3 players down. They cleared the checkpoint.
That puts Purple in quite a lot of pressure there with that first check broken. Undertow can quite quickly change though, so there's still hope for KFC Gaming yet. Making sure that Rainmaker is not left alone. That awful moment when you leave the Rainmaker and it gets picked up and knocked out is a moment I feel like we've all shared, where we've forgotten to defend the Rainmaker.
Oh yes, I tend to find myself, given I'm more of a frontline player, I'm generally more of the person to take that Rainmaker and then dunk it. But now we're seeing that Cocaine once again has possession of the Rainmaker. They're looking to make a little bit of push, get a few more points onto the board, getting it to 53. But KFC Gaming do spot them and do take down that Rainmaker.
Indeed, we've got this Gal going for that intense flank, but the 2v1 unfortunately takes them out. But KFC is pushing the Rainmaker, but kind of held back by Cocaine here, popping out their Trizuka, trying to apply the pressure. We get a splash with the crab as well, creating some space on that left side, hoping maybe for a distraction.
Definitely using that Rainmaker to really push away all the members of Cocaine, and now they're looking to head to that left checkpoint there. But the crab is being a menace and not allowing them to make a push. But they do get caught out by this. Oh, they get caught out by the crab tank. One of 2 crab tanks there was. That was why that allowed them for the defense there. Dealing the 2 crabs. Here. Definitely, and now we're seeing one of these splashes again. They're looking to get that E-leader, and there we go. Polo Bread goes down, and now there's only one player left alive on the side of KFC Gaming. Cocaine is gonna look to make another push, and with 30 seconds remaining, KFC Gaming need to get this Rainmaker down. They need to get turf control, and they need to get the picks ASAP if they want to have a chance at winning this, because this is the best of 3. If Cocaine manage to hold on to this, that will be game. But with 3 players going down on the side of Cocaine, this is all KFC Gaming. 15 seconds left on the clock. They need to clear the first checkpoint, and then they need to get a few more points left on the board. Crab Tank coming out, trying to find what gets 1 pick. Are they going to be able to get a 2nd pick as well? They see the Rainmaker. They're getting the objective. But here we go, Rainmaker perspective here. They have 40 seconds. They see the Rainmaker, but they don't have anyone defending them there. Trizuka and Crab Tank eyeing them off, but they do go down to the Crab Tank at the end, setting the score to 2-0 in the favor of Cocaine.
Cocaine was lucky they got their specials in time there, able to defend perfectly and they took off the KFC Gaming's players one by one, leaving the Rainmaker again undefended, as you said. So that is, the second game to Cocaine. I can't get over the name, Cocaine.
Oh, well, we'll have to see what KFC Gaming will do, as now Cocaine has been... This is a best of 3 and single elimination at this point. So, sorry, Cocaine. Was lovely. No, KFC Gaming. Cocaine won. KFC Gaming, I'm so sorry. With you going. Cocaine will progress on, as unfortunately it does in this world sometimes. It just stays. It's like an addiction. It doesn't go away.
Especially for our Aussies, as it happens. And let's keep
we won't go into that too
we won't go any further there. We will take a quick break as we set up for our next round. So stick by. We'll get some more games going.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Reef Rushdown 13. I'm DJam98, and I'm joined by Amy Saya. I got the first bit. I remember I got the bit right this time, but now this time I got the second bit wrong. I know that I got that wrong.
You're so close, but so far. It is Amy Saika, but you can call me Amy.
Saika.
That works better. That works for
Amy, okay, I can remember Amy. That's probably going to be easier to remember. All right. Now, we got two teams. We got Greasy Goblins 4 versus Persistence. Now, Greasy Goblins was on early during today, and from what I heard, they were very offensive. And looking at this comp, I know every single player from Greasy Goblins. I know Link, I know Nex, I know Argini, and I know Raimi. And they're probably one of the most offensive frontliners in a lot of the OCE scene right now. I can't say too much for Persistence because I think I only recognize a few members, but I don't know what weapons they play. But Greasy Goblins 4, knowing how they went, they're going to likely go very aggressive with their weapons. And now we're going to see Persistence here coming out with a very interesting comp there. And then there's the Greasy Goblins 4 with absolutely no backline. But from Persistence, we do see a gal, Tri-Stringer, Octobrush, and a Machine. Definitely an interesting comp. Not a whole lot of turfing power, which is going to be might end up being quite difficult to go against the Greasy Goblins, as both members are aiming to get the turf to aim to paint that spot zone.
We do see a quick wipeout from Greasy Goblins, approaching into the plat of Persistence, taking up that space, denying them that zone. Already 30 seconds into the game.
Already 30 seconds in and already 60 points remaining left. And we're seeing the Squeezer getting that splat onto Ink. Ardino there as well, getting the splat. That's 3 players down. Another wipe. This is not the position you want to be in if you're on Persistence. You got 4 minutes left and you still got 30 points remaining left on the clock. This is not a good position. 20 points remaining.
We're trying to see a push in from the left side from Persistence using their specials. Unfortunately, the gal goes down. They need to rush the zone at this point if they're looking, and unfortunately, Persistence, the double wipeout, Greasy Goblins taking the win there with a complete knockout.
Wow, I knew Greasy Goblins were gonna be aggressive, but I was not expecting a full-on double wipeout to start off this set. If I'm Persistence right now, I think they're looking for a comp change, especially since they've got 2 extra members. They might be looking to sub those guys in and maybe switch up their comp a bit more to be maybe a little bit more defensive, maybe have a bit more turf control, because that's what really allowed Greasy Goblins 4 to get that early offensive going. They were managed to get a lot of turf control over mid very quickly.
Exactly, that paint control, the crabs pushing into their plat as well, and absolutely denying the space for Persistence there. Just left no option to take back that control. So it will be interesting to see what Persistence come up with our next map, which indeed is
Tower Control Inkblot.
There we go. Tower Control Inkblot.
Sorry, no, I didn't allow time for a drum roll. You can do your drum now. If you want to do your drum roll, I want to see some drum rolls in chat. Come on, drum rolls, delayed drum rolls.
Delayed drum. Guys, you don't know the map. Okay, we'll retake this one.
Retake it. Okay, ready. Tower Control Inkblot.
A favorite from Splatoon 2. We did see this map come up quite often in Splatoon 2. I think it's a great map for TC. You have your bats. You have the little step up into right side of their plat, creating like this very split attention you get if you are defending. So let's see if Persistence can push through that aggressive nature of Greasy Goblins. And here we go.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how these two teams are going to bring it in. Persistence in yellow, Greasy Goblins in blue. Again, the exact same comp coming out from Greasy Goblins. But we're seeing a little bit of a change from Persistence, opting to go with that splash, which is going to allow them to get that crab as well, giving them a bit more defensive power if they utilize that crab. But again, we're seeing Greasy Goblins get a very early control over mid, but Junior does go down, which might allow Persistence to get a bit more defensive coming out as well. Oh, 2 players down on Greasy Goblins.
It is a 2v2 currently. We've got our Tri-Slinger and our Slushers, which do not really have the aggression to keep mid there. They fall back onto their plat. We see a trade going down on the right side of the map there, with Remy taking their stack. The stacks are such an important part of tower control in Inkblot. But the crab taking a pick on Greasy Goblins.
That pick is really going to allow them to start getting that tower moving into the first checkpoint. 1 player down on the side of Greasy Goblins as Persistence is clearing that first checkpoint, saying, hey, you got that wipe, you got that absolute domination over us on the first round. We're gonna allow us to get that early lead heading into game 2, and we're seeing that straight up. But now Greasy Goblins, they're now getting a bit more on the offensive, but the Tri-Suit comes up, but they get taken out by the Slushy Machine. Booyah Bomb also coming out from the side of Greasy. Gonna take anyone down. Both teams having a full roster of players, but the Slushy Machine from both sides go down, and now Greasy Goblins are looking to clear that first checkpoint, and there we go. There's the first checkpoint cleared, and the Octorosh going down as well from the side of Persistence.
Persistence, it is currently a 2v2 Greasy Goblins still pushing that tower into their bats, but we're seeing a couple of defensive specials from the Gal, from Persistence. It'll be interesting to see how far Greasy Goblins push up here.
Well, they're managing to hold. They're managing to hold the lead on 1 point.
On 1 point, exactly. But we are seeing the Zip Cluster come out from the brush, trying to push and create pressure on Greasy Goblins. Greasy Goblins going 2 down, throwing out a Booyah from the Slusher. Splash.
They get caught. They get caught.
Will this be another push for Persistence here?
It might be now. They do have that bit more of turf control over mid, but with the splash being the only one remaining, they're opting to maybe try and back off a little bit now, getting caught out between 2 players. Hoshino is going to go down there to the splash there as the squid roll. Oh, nice squid roll onto the tower there. And another crab coming out from Raby as they now have taken the lead and looking to clear that second checkpoint. Booyah Bomb as well coming out, and that's gonna now crab pushing up even further. They're just looking to get the KO all the way heading up to the final checkpoint onto the ramp. Booyah Bomb is gonna head on to the tower, is now getting anyone away from it, but the sister is looking to get a bit more of that turf and to get that Wavebreaker, and there we go, there's that.
That's that kill. The Wavebreaker definitely adding more pressure, allowing this C Junior to push up into their plat, back onto tower, continuing Greasy Goblins push here.
Definitely, sister still on that tower. They're looking to get a bit more of that turf going, looking to get a bit more points on the board. That tower still is in the plat, still pushing. Crab Tank is going to get that splat. 2 players down on both sides. Stormy did get that splash with the sloshing machine, but with now 2 players down alone on the side of Greasy Goblins, that might be the end of that push, as Persistence standing up to their name and not allowing them to get that KO, continuing the match. But with only 50 seconds left on the clock, they're going to need to get some turf, and they're going to need to have to
push real hard to get that lead. With only 37 seconds left on the clock, we're probably looking at a overtime push from Greasy Goblins getting on that tower there. This brush looking for a sneaky opportunity there, potentially get some picks, but we do lose 2 players from Persistence there with just the brush left. It is not looking good for Persistence here, but they still have the defense up, still persisting.
But they do need to get control of that tower really quick. Only a few seconds left on the clock. Trizuka is ready. Crab is up. Booyah Bomb is up. Specials are everywhere. But that is not going to be enough as the tower is in Goblins' favor. And that is game 2 going to the Greasy Goblins.
Indeed. And that is Greasy Goblins taking the second set from them, and unfortunately that knocks Persistent out, and Greasy Goblins will be heading up. It knocks Persistence into 3rd place, I believe.
It does. It will. No, so they're not knocked out yet, so they will go into 3rd place match. So next up,
That's right.
we are going to have our grand. This was the semi-finals. I didn't even realize that. So now we're going to be heading into the grand finals, which will have Greasy Goblins 4 against Eirigh.
Eirigh. It's a very strange
I'm
name,
gonna need to
isn't
have
it?
some. If anyone knows how to pronounce that, help.
Please send it here.
Please send help, or else I'm gonna have to call 000.
Alrighty, we will take a quick break while we set up the next matches. Stick by, enjoy the Splatoon tunes, and we'll see you for the grand finals.
Oh, okay. Yep. All right. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Am I live? All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Reef Rushdown 13. I'm DJ and I'm joined by Amy. Let's dive in to this match and we'll reset that score. So it's Greasy Goblins against Eirigh. We had to get a little bit of help that pronunciation. And we're going to start off with Greasy Goblins. They go with the same comp we saw before. Very front line, very aggressive. But we're saying Eirigh does have a bit more of that standard comp. They do have, well, actually, not super standard. They got a lot of frontline, and then they've got that E leader, so a lot of frontline, and then one hell of a backline.
They do indeed. The interesting thing with Scorch Gorge zones, you have this massive tower in the middle that allows you to get onto their plat, but with that squeezer, it might be hard, but they do have the coverage of the E-leader, maybe allowing them to push to plat.
Yes, and now getting that splat onto Ardino as well. That is a critical splat. That squeezer is definitely the longest range weapon they do have on the team, so that is a critical splat. And now Eirigh they've got only 45 points remaining onto the board. We're seeing the slosh here. They do get the trade with Ivan there, but that they need more than a trade. They need a zone.
Exactly. We do see Eirigh dominating mid at the moment, making it incredibly tough for the Greasy Goblins to get in. Quite unusual from that aggressive playstyle we've seen from the previous games, but it looks like Eirigh taking a sweep immediately with the knockout.
Oh, that was so close too. At the end, there was 3 players down on the side of Eirigh. So Greasy Goblins were so close to be able to flip the zone, but because they didn't able to do that just a little bit sooner, that was game 1 going to Eirigh.
Such a quick match. These matches have been turning over lightning speed. I feel like we're going through a quick fire tourney here.
You could almost say we're going through a rushdown.
I mean, as the name states, we are going fast, that's for sure. Our next match that we're looking at is indeed
Out control, your tail, alley. Oh,
thank you.
I'm waiting. I think you're searching for it, but then you're meeting the drummer. Like, oh no, I'm catching off the guard again. No, what am I doing?
It will be interesting to see if Greasy Goblins will switch any sort of composition. They have been running quite an aggressive comp, but with the knowledge that Eirigh do have an E-leader player, it'll be interesting to see if anything switches up in this next match. And as we move to tower control, let's see what happens.
I do believe, I do believe we'll see the sloshes return from both sides, but little bit of a slosher change there. So Shinix is going with that tri-slosher, even with the sloshing machine, but we're also seeing a sloshing machine come out for Greasy Goblins as well, training it back from the regular slosher. And now we're going to see that Junior does get that early charge up for the big bubbler, is going to go up and pop it right onto tower as they head straight into the second checkpoint, getting that splat bomb splat onto Link, as well as the first checkpoint has been cleared.
Giving them a great advantage there. The Junior, well known for their consistent splat bombs. Greasy Goblins looking to use their specials. Unfortunately, 3 down, giving Eirigh a really great advantage here to push that second check.
Definitely, and already halfway through their points remaining, they've cleared the second checkpoint. The tri-slosher is just getting that special charge up, and there we go. They do have that Inkshot as ready, but the Inkfat as well is going to prevent any turf from going onto the tower, allowing them to push all the way up to 20 points remaining. But now, with 3 players down on the side of Eirigh, that's now going to allow the Greasy Goblins to get a bit more of a turf control going and allow them to get that counter push going. Wipeout is going to assist them absolutely with that, as the Booyah Bomb is now ready and active to use for the Greasy Goblins and the Trizuka.
yeah, the Trizuka coming out, Ardino looking to create space in front of that tower for Greasy Goblins to, you know, take back that space that Eirigh took in the first minute and a half of the game.
Definitely, and now they're looking to get a bit more of that offensive movement going, heading into the second checkpoint as well. But now, with 2 players down on the side of Greasy Goblins, that might not be the position that they want to be in. They do have that Trizuka that he does get that splat and allowing them to get a wipeout. That is now the critical point, clearing that second checkpoint.
Exactly right. This could be the comeback that Greasy Goblins is looking. We're seeing that aggressive playstyle we saw in the early matches. They're getting those picks. I wonder if Eirigh is feeling a little bit of pressure here, taking the lead indeed. And that's a knockout? A knockout from the Greasy Goblins. They're not taking the previous match as any sort of loss there with that knockout.
Absolutely not. Sending the score to 1-1. I was not expecting that after seeing how the first match was such a dominating, impressive first push and maintaining that for the entire thing from Eirigh. Now Greasy Goblins, they did lose that first early push, but then they managed to retake it and then they absolutely took it all the way to the destination at the end.
Exactly. I think what Greasy Goblins really did well was using their specials, pushing forward that Trizuka from Ardino, getting a pick there, and just picking them off one by one and continuing that aggression. Moving on to our next game, which will be Rainmaker Museum. Interesting map for Museum. There's only one path you can take rather than, like we saw in Undertow, the split path that you can take. Rainmaker definitely has that very much. You have to go up that one path, but you can also take the rotator to jump a few points straight away, but that's obviously very reliant on the rotor, you know, facing the right direction. So it's RNG. So many times I've been caught trying to take that rotator only for it to switch and ending on my face in mid. It's a great map for like having a diverse push there, because you got to keep an eye on that mid tower for someone pushing in while the Rainmaker's pushing from that left-sided ramp, especially. I think we will probably see a double crab again from Greasy Goblins as they have been running, which crab I think is so crucial on this map, especially when you're not running a backline as Greasy Goblins haven't really been doing. Apart from the squeezer, but that's more midline.
So you got the squeezer, and then you got the crabs. That's their backlines, and there's not much of a backline compared to Swen, who does have that splat charger. So seeing that is again, as you call, the double crab coming out, as well as coming up from the side of Eirigh. We have the Junior, we have the Tri-Slosh to the Splatterscope and the Machine, but the Machine and Lincoln even going down to Greasy Goblins Crab. A very good, very first offensive movement coming out there.
Exactly. We did see a couple of members from both sides going down, but unfortunately, it looks like Greasy Goblins have gone down 3. It's just the Splash defending here, and this is going to be the first push for Eirigh, getting that first checkpoint there.
And that is a really great start for Eirigh now. And the crab is going to just do a little bit of damage, but being behind that rotator and now getting caught out by the Inkbat is not going to do anything, as that Rainmaker is just advancing all the way down to 36.
And it looks like but unfortunately, a Tri-Slosher was looking to get a couple more points there. And Greasy Goblins is coming back fierce, already on their plat. But unfortunately, Ardino goes down to the bomb. But the Rainmaker does manage to get that first check with the crab taking up space on that right side there. With another Booyah, will they be able to push the Rainmaker any further? It doesn't look like it.
Yeah, definitely a good attempt at getting that aggressive movement going, clearing that first checkpoint, but not enough to get the lead. But clearing that first checkpoint, at least that is a movement going, because now they can just grab the Rainmaker and go. But we're seeing Eirigh here looking to try and get that Rainbow going, but they're caught up in a corner, and that splash is not going to do, it's going to do a lot of damage to IPS, taking them down and looking to charge up that crab again, getting the splat onto the Tri-Slosher as well, with the splat charger being the only player remaining. They do have that Inkling at the ready, which is going to allow them to be a bit of defensive, allow them to stop any turf from coming towards them. And as Greasy Goblins pick up that Rainmaker again, and they're looking. Oh, but they get taken out!
And get taken out. I'm not quite sure what got them then. Perhaps a bomb, a fizzy. We do have the Junior on the other side, able to use those splat bombs there. But the crab does get a pick. Greasy Goblins is still pushing. They're still looking for those picks. With 2 down, it's 2 on each side currently. It looks like... Yes. Will they push though? That is the question. But it looks like they're just holding out mid here, waiting for the Rainmaker to reset. Rainmaker is
going to reset just a few meters, but the 3 players down. You talk about a love triangle. How about a splat triangle as 3 players go down right then and there. Booyah Bomb coming out from the machine is going to aim to stop the Rainmaker from making any sudden movements there. As well, going to constantly use the machine to just control the area, control the turf, not allowing them to go down. But with 3 players down, the splat charger again being the only player remaining,
allowing Greasy Goblins to get in another push with the Tri-Slosher going down to the splash there. We're losing the Rainmaker, but they can still continue this push. The Booyah preventing, but there is another Booyah. There's Booyahs all around.
Booyah heaven at the moment. Oh, they grab it.
Such a close game at this point. There is an advantage for Goblins getting the...
Oh, if they get the pop, they might be able to get it. They get the lead. Oh!
The Trizuka taking out the Slusher. Can they get some more points here? Could this be the game?
Oh, they're climbing. They're climbing. And that is game.
That's it. That's game. What an amazing feat from Greasy Goblins. They pushed, and they got it. They got that win there.
They absolutely did. Both these teams are extremely aggressive. We're not seeing that so once someone gets a push going, they can get that push going quite far. I'm seeing that from both sides. So that's why we saw in game 1 on Splat Zones, whoever took the zone first had a massive advantage because they're both really good at pushing, not so much at defending. So that's why you're really seeing that counter dynamic, that it's a push, so they get stopped, and then it's a push immediately the other way. There isn't really much push and pull in the defensive offensive maneuvers.
No, well, they're both very aggressive teams, so they're looking to just take it and go all the way. They're not holding any remorse there. Our next game that we are going into is Clanblitz Flounder Heights, the new map Flounder Heights, a remake from Splatoon 1, a very interesting game for clams with, of course, the apartments, that diversity in height, quite close quarters here. There's multitude of flanking opportunities on this map as well, which will be quite interesting to see well, they're both 2 aggressive teams as we've been saying. So Clanblitz as well, will it get staggered is the question. Will we see a staggered game, or will we see a full-on push?
It's quite interesting, you see, because you do have, this is Sniper Heaven, so we're going to see that splat charge is going to have a lot more power than it did compared to some of the other maps, because they can really get into particular spots and make a huge controlling effect on such a large portion of the map. But when you compare it to something like Clanblitz, there is so many routes, particularly Clanblitz Flounder Heights, that you can take to the basket. It can be really difficult to defend when you've got so many different routes you need to be looking at.
Exactly. We have got the same comp coming from Greasy Goblin with the 2 splashes, the squeezer and the slusher. A bit of a mix-up from Eirigh. I still can't say
Eirigh.
Eirigh with the flingza, potentially push with the missiles there. Quite even on mid currently. We've got a wave breaker coming out from the custom junior, but it gets taken out by the squeezer.
Squeezer taking up that sniper's perch over there. And now with 2 players down on the side of Eirigh and make that 3, this is now going to really allow the Greasy Goblins to get that early push going. They do have that Trizuka at the ready, and they're just looking to find the players, looking to find the opportunity. They do get a lot of damage onto that player, but it's not enough to take them down, as Greasy Goblins now have a collective of 12 clams looking and eyeing up that basket. They're inching closer and closer towards it.
Exactly, and especially with the use of those specials, just creating a plethora of space there. But unfortunately, it looks like they duck out of their push with that Booyah Bomb taking up the right side of Eirigh's map there. Will we see a comeback there? From Eirigh, defending perfectly there. We've got a slosher battle and
Slosher off.
slosher off between the two, with Greasy Goblins winning it.
Definitely, and now we're gonna see that having that few amount of clans. Both teams don't really have too many clans on the field. They do have that wave breaker ready to fire though. With 3 minutes left on the clock, no team yet making a push. That's the thing when you don't have too much of the defensive movement, that you really need to go full ham and you need to go full slam if you want to get a push going with these 2 teams. And now we're getting to see that a bit more clams is getting built up by the Greasy Goblins. They do have 2 pity clams, totaling up to a total of 18 points, but one of the power clams does get thrown out of their hands and is going to, looks like it's going to despawn Booyah Bomb coming out as well from the Greasy Goblins and just pushing them back. Again, that slosher off between the 2. And now the slosher, there was 2 slosher offs.
All sloshes here, and it looks like Eirigh is managing to take up that space towards Greasy Goblins. Oh, getting 2 picks there from the junior. Exactly what they needed. And there is the push from Eirigh.
There we go. That's the first clam shot in and a few more clams going in. That does mean we're not getting that extra 3-minute overtime. But getting all the way down 65 is not a tremendous first push, but it's still a decent one. It's still a good position to be in, especially given how the map has been going so far, with neither team really having a proper dominance over the field and not having a proper dominance over control. We do see that Booyah Bomb is coming out from the sloshing machine, going to shoot it over to the enemy's plat, and now it's going to allow the sloshing machine to make a little bit more of an offensive movement. Power Clam is ready from the side of Eirigh, and the 10 missiles is going to push away and displace the members, but they're getting caught out by the crab, but the crab goes down to the missile!
Taking out the crab, exactly. We do have 2 players down from Greasy Goblins. This could be the moment where Eirigh takes for their second push over Greasy Goblins. This is the match needed for Greasy Goblins to win the set. So there's a lot of
not just the set,
here.
but the tournament.
Well, the tournament, exactly. Eirigh using that Booyah to take some more space for the Tri-Slosher going down. Greasy Goblin coming back, and the push is finished from Eirigh.
Greasy Goblins do manage to grab up that extra pity clam there that was supplied to them. A trade between Shinex and the other Splash, and now Greasy Goblins is looking to make another push. They need to get turf going, they need to get clams going, they need to get everything going, as they've only got 45 seconds left onto the clock. That crab is coming out, is gonna get charged, but no! The Tri-Slasher taking them down!
But the crab following up from that, and we are looking to see a push here. We've both got the crab and the Trizuka there. And the Booyah, we've got a chain of specials. Oh, but the Slosher with the flank, and they lose the clan. There is still an advantage. It's just the Tri-Slosher left. Will the Tri-Slosher make it? Will they get it in? This is an important moment for...
It absolutely is. If Greasy Goblins manage to get a few more clams in, they will take the tournament. The basket is open. They're going to need to head in now. It doesn't matter if it closes because, depends. It might be chance. Oh no! Oh no!
Not quite enough. They were looking for a spot to get that power clam in, buy them some more time. But the Elward, help me out here.
Eirigh.
the Eirigh defense is good enough to stop that push.
What was it? So what happened there at the end? So because Greasy Goblins popped the basket at the exact moment they did, it then closed the basket closed at just the moment to shut down overtime. If they popped the basket just a second earlier, or if I don't know if there was an extra clam thrown in, or if they didn't throw that clam in, then they would have gone into overtime and had a lot more time to build up that time. But because the basket closed just after overtime started, that then allowed Eirigh to take that game. And now we're heading into the game 5. Two games v 2 games in the tournament set.
And what are we heading for our tournament set? Splat Zone's Mincemeat Metalworks. An interesting new map for Splatoon 3.
I'll be honest here. It's my least load. It's my least loved map mode combination. It's so easy to camp people out, and I'm expecting whoever takes the zone first, I'm expecting, given how we've seen these two teams interact, whoever takes zone first will take the tournament, because they're going to take the zone and they're going to push. So if the team who doesn't take the zone, they're going to need to be really cautious and be extremely wise with how they break out of the absolute lockout that can occur on Mincemeat.
Well, exactly. With the Mincemeat, you only can push into their plat via the grates on the trucks. So once they get past the grates, if they can hold that position, then it's quite a dominant position, yeah, and they'll win the game, potentially.
Yeah, 2 against 2. Greasy Goblins in blue, Eirigh in Rello. This is tournament point. Let's go.
This is exciting. We're seeing a similar cut. The E-Leader scope comes out from Eirigh. We've got the Slosher pushing Greasy Goblin's truck as well. I feel like the trucks is such an important position here. If you can push the crabs off there, you're able to get zoned, just as we see from Eirigh here.
And yeah, we're seeing at the moment as well that both teams are looking to get that pushing, trying to get that offensive going, and using that triple ink strike to push away the members of the Eirigh. And now we're seeing 3 players down on the side of Greasy Goblins. This is not the position they want to be in, as they do have that wave breaker as well. That lead is now taken, and here begins the possible lockout. And they're just eyeing off the members of them. The crab does come out, is going to allow them to get a bit of range, but another crab is spotted and going to shut down that crab. They do go down, but now with 2 players down on the side of Greasy Goblins, this could be Eirigh's chance. Oh no, sorry, Eirigh have control of the zone.
Exactly. Unfortunately for that crab trying to create space there, it got scooped up by Eirigh's crab and taken out by the subsequent wave breaker from the Custom Junior on Eirigh's side. We are seeing a pushback from Greasy Goblins, but unfortunately the splash taking position there. Another crab from Goblins. They need to cap zone now, otherwise this will be game. And
they do!
They do! And we see a Trizuka coming from Greasy Goblins. This could be the pushback that we're looking to see from Greasy Goblins. Taking up the space, we see a crab from Eirigh. It's a very crab-heavy set this has been. You know, the 3 splashes kind of consistently over all 5 matches.
Yeah, crab does have a lot of advantage, and is probably one of the most loved and most favored specials at the moment, given the current meta. And now we're seeing that crab does get taken out by the torpedo, as well as the wave breaker come out is going to spot and make the members do a little bit of hopscotch here. And the zone does get flipped in Greasy Goblin's favor, but they're not going to be able to get much control over the forward area.
They're keeping that zone, even just half-painted, to try and get that penalty down. But there is a booyah bomb onto the truck, and another crab pushed out. It's a crab war right now, and unfortunately Eirigh does not win it.
No, they don't.
We see a jump out from Eirigh there as well. They are getting pushed back, and Greasy Goblins taking a pick there with the Trizuka and breaking the penalty as well on the zone. As long as they keep up this pressure, this could be a turnaround for Greasy Goblins.
It really could be. But here we go. Here comes the Booyah Bomb. It's a dogfight here into the right side of the map. But are they able to get the jump out? They don't get the jump out. But there we go. And now the crab on the zone is going to send it in to their favor, giving Greasy Goblins a 50-point penalty, which is not the position they wanted to be in, heading with a minute and a half left on the clock.
Exactly. They are still pushing back in, but Eirigh is keeping that zone under tight wraps. But they are down 2 players, just with the Junior and the Slosher left. Greasy Goblins taking advantage of that lone Slosher in the corner there and pushing onto their plat. And this is the aggressiveness we've seen from Greasy Goblins in the previous matches. Bringing out the tri-strikes, bringing out the specials, keeping Eirigh at bay. The zone penalty increasingly decreasing. That's a mouthful to say.
Oh, but 2 players go down on the side of Eirigh, but the Booyah Bomb heading into the zone. Is that going to send the zone into neutral? It is going to go neutral. They're eyeing it, but no, it's still in their possession. Is this going to be game? The zone is in balance. They're trying to bait it. It goes into neutral. 2 points remaining, and they flip it at a hair's breadth from the tournaments.
Eirigh is certainly not giving up in this match. They are putting up a strong fight with the zone in neutral. It's back and forth at this point, but Eirigh do have an insane penalty with only 15 seconds, and Greasy Goblins taking off with just the E-leader left. It's not looking great for them paint-wise for that zone.
It's not. 3 players down is not the position you want to be to as they're heading to overtime, and there we go. That is game.
That is game.
Match and tournament for the Greasy Goblins.
Insane comeback from Greasy Goblins there, having a huge lead from Eirigh with 6 points, with a huge penalty, double penalty because Eirigh managed to cap the game there, and taking that lead in the last minute or so of the game. Absolutely insane. Eirigh didn't give up though, right there at the end. They did get a cap, but unfortunately they went down 3 players, left their E-leader. Unfortunately can't paint well enough for the zone there.
No, an E-leader versus 4 people is not gonna outpaint the zone, no matter what planet you live on.
Yeah, unfortunately not. Congratulations, Greasy Goblins. Well-deserved pat in the back there for winning Reef Rushdown 13 after a year of being on hiatus. Yeah,
it's good to be back.
Round of a point. Yeah, it's great to be back. I'm looking forward to our further OCE tournaments, bringing back some OCE love as well.
Well, I can. The OCE is definitely. There are things in the pipeline for OCE that is definitely coming. So if you're here, Oceanic, there's more coming. Don't worry.
Exactly, and that's Reef Rushdown. I guess it went quickly. It went so fast. All the matches were just so aggressive. I think that's what you see from Australian players. You see that what I've noticed at least is this huge aggressive power getting into their spawn and just taking no remorse. And we definitely saw that here tonight, didn't we?
Yeah, Oceanic is really you got 2 types of comps here. You have extremely aggressive or extremely wacky. They're the 2 comps you see down here, and it's the type of comps we love to pull out as well. So yeah, it's definitely a lot different to what you might see elsewhere in the world. But that will wrap up the stream for us today. Amy, where can the lovely people here at IPL find you?
They can find me at AmyPsycha_ on Twitter and AmyPsycha on Twitch. And where can they find you, Dijan?
they can find me on Twitter at djam987 because someone took djam98 from me. Oh, I'm so sad. You can also find me at Twitch at djam98 because I managed to get that one first.
Hey,
Yay.
There you go. I feel the same with Twitter there. I have to put an underscore under mine. Someone took Amy Saika. The odds of that with my wacky name. Anyway, thank you everyone for watching tonight. We're glad to be back. And we hope to see you hopefully next month in January. We hope you have a lovely holiday season and New Year. And we'll see. We'll see you next year. But you know.
All right, everyone, go back to saving Wahoo World. We need to save it. Go.
Run. Thank you, everyone, and good night.